What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk about a mistake that I made for a very long time Pokemon investing that I still see people making to this day with even the newest sets that come out. And we're going to be using Black Bolt as the example and talk about some of the cards that are popping off in the set. But before we get into that, I want to give a shout out to today's video sponsor, PokeNotify. You guys already know PokeNotify is a Discord notification service offering you the fastest notifications on drops, restocks, and deals on Pokemon product. They cover all the main regions of the world, all the main websites. It's $7.99 a month. You can cancel at any time. If you guys want to get in there, there's a 3-day free trial as well. But also, they're now doing their PokeNotify Emporium, which is their consignment service, and you can get up to 95% payouts on items over $3,000, and they're very competitive rates for everything below that as well. So if you want to check out what they're doing, I'll leave links in the description in the pinned comment down below, and thank you to PokeNotify for sponsoring the video. Now, the mistake that I made for a long time that I still see people making is not having any skin in the game. And what I mean by this, I'll give you my example first. Back last year, I did not buy a lot of 151 because when I saw these ETBs, and we can pull up the 1-year chart here, middle of last year, August, maybe even go back to like July or June, a little over a year ago, 14 months ago, these were still around $55, $60 in ETB, which at the time was quite expensive. And I figured, you know what, Pokemon 151, it's their most popular set. They're probably going to reprint a lot of these ETBs and maybe even the UPCs or some other products. So I figured, you know what, I'm just going to hold off. I'm not going to load up on a lot of 151. I really did expect it to get reprinted. I think a lot of people looked at it that way, but a lot of people didn't. A lot of people bought the product. They said, hey, this is a great set. I'm just going to hold it long term. If reprints come, I'm a dollar cost average. And I missed out on 151. I don't have a lot of 151. I'm grateful for what I have, but I could have had a much larger position. And you can see here, even the regular ETB over the past 12 months is up around 350%, 345% approximately. So massive gains on 151. Twilight Masquerade out the gate. I thought this was a pretty meh set. I didn't think the Greninja was great. I mean, you had the EV in there and a couple decent cards, but I really did not expect this to be a top 4 set in the Scarlet and Violet era when it comes to booster boxes. And you can see over the past year, up 125%. This was a booster box out the gate that was around like $90. You could buy it most places. Then it was up to $9,500. So it was still very cheap. And now you're sitting at $275. That's what, the third most expensive booster box in the Scarlet and Violet era. And then what came after Twilight Masquerade? Well, Surging Sparks came later in the year. And I was lucky. I loaded up on Surging Sparks the day that the Pikachu, the Latias, the Milotic, the day those cards were announced. I pre-ordered a ton of Surging Sparks. I went super heavy. So I got lucky on Surging Sparks for sure because pre-orders in Canada, I mean, you could find this box basically every store back in like late October, early November for around 140, 150 Canadian. So that's like $110 USD at the time, maybe 105, something like that. So I got very lucky with Surging. But even when Surging was on its rise back in like early October, through October, this was around like $140, $150 a booster box. People were going insane saying this is so expensive because this really was like the start of the bull run, and most people didn't think that Surging was going to continue to go, but then it climbed to 200 fairly quickly. Then it was up to 210, 220, 240, all the way up to around $260 at its peak. And the point I'm trying to make here is that you really just do not know what is going to happen in the Pokemon hobby. None of us do, right? Like, we get things right sometimes, we get things wrong. The idea is to try and be right more than we're wrong, and just to do all of that while limiting our risk. But that doesn't mean we should get zero exposure. We probably should buy a little bit of everything because you never know when something is going to pop off. The same thing happened with Prismatic. It was probably worth getting some ETBs. Obviously, you can buy them cheaper now, but we never know what's going to happen. Journey Together, or the SPCs, I mean, that's kind of the same deal, but Journey Together, this is another one I wanted to talk about. A lot of people are buying the enhanced booster box right now. Even though Journey Together, it's not one of the best sets from the SV era, we don't know if we're going to get more Journey Together enhanced booster boxes. And if that doesn't happen, these might pop off. Now, what we're seeing with Black Bolt specifically is in the card list here. You can see a lot of these cards, by the way, are more expensive than I thought they were. It seems like the pull rates on these like higher rarity cards like the Zekrom, the Victini, some of the SRs, and White Flare as well. You also have the Victini and then the Reshiram. These cards are fairly expensive, but the Seismitoad is a very interesting card. Obviously, it's a Shinji Kanda artwork. I'm sure you guys have watched videos on this already with the 666 in the card over here. Some people are assuming that this might get banned, and you can see this went from like $60 at release. It's now a $230 card. And I don't care what anybody says because there's always someone in the comments, basically on every video, flexing that they called it, they knew it was going to happen. Nobody knew Seismitoad was going to potentially get banned or that this was going to be a $230 card a week after release, right? Like nobody saw this coming until somebody pointed out the 666 on the card. And I'm not saying that this is going to have a massive impact on the price of Black Bolt, whether it's the ETBs, the booster bundles, whatever, but it could potentially. You never know what's going to happen. For example, if they do hypothetically ban the card, which I'm not saying is going to happen, I really am not even going to try and speculate on that because if it does or it doesn't, it's kind of irrelevant to me based on my position size. But if it did get banned, you could see something like first print ETBs, like a sealed case of 10. Those could be more expensive in the future. Same thing with PCTBs, or if someone has a case of like 3-pack blisters or whatever, as long as it has the distribution tag that shows that this is from the first print run, those might be more valuable in the future because people know if they open those, they could potentially pull the Seismitoad. And this is why I recommend to you guys now, because this is something I didn't do for the longest time, buy a little bit of every release when it comes out, or if you want to pre-order it, whatever, just make sure you have some skin in the game because you're not going to be able to tell until 2 to 3 years down the line which sets are going to be better. Now, that doesn't mean you go all in on one product or one set, because I do think the later we get into this bull run, the more likely a lot of this stuff is going to get reprinted. You're probably going to get better entry points, but don't just go the complete opposite direction and get absolutely nothing, because when a situation like this potentially arises, where we could see a massive premium, or same thing with Journey Together, if we don't get more enhanced booster boxes, we could see these types of investments just go to the moon. And I know there's going to be some people at home screaming at their TVs and computers saying that the Seismitoad situation is just absolute manipulation. There's no way this card should be worth $230. And you can say that all you want, but it's kind of moot to the point I'm trying to make, which is that you really do not know what is going to happen, especially out the gate with any given set. And even if you're very confident that something is going to happen, doesn't mean that it's actually going to happen. But as always, you guys let me know in the comments down below what you think. Do you guys also believe that the Seismitoad is going to get banned and Pokemon's going to stop printing this card? Personally, I don't see it happening, but maybe you guys disagree. If you guys got some value of this content, I'd really appreciate if you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, it helps out a ton. Make sure to go check out Pokenotify, links in the description down below. With all that said, thank you so much for watching, stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.